Hi, welcome to Business Influencers. My name is Chris Salem. I'm your host. Welcome to Business Influencers. If you are new, you found us here at TALRadio. Also, you can find us on Spotify, Apple, and also our YouTube channel at TALRadio. Again, we want to thank all you listeners each and every week joining us here. Again, the show continues to grow in size because of you, and we are committed every week in bringing subject matter experts sharing their words of wisdom and insights to help move your personal success and your level of influence to the next level. If you have any input or any insights that you would like to see on the show, feel free to reach out to us at chris@christophersalem.com. That's chris@christophersalem.com. Today's show is being brought to you today by Alumni Direct. Alumni Direct is a new social media community platform dedicated to bringing alumni together from all different generational types and opportunities to meet new people for the first time. They are a paid program, so meaning that it takes all the noise out of social media, and you get the opportunity to come in on your own time without all the notifications. And it comes with a wide array of different services that are great for business owners that you would not find anywhere else. Check them out at alumnidirect.com. That's alumnidirect.com. Well, we got a great show for you today. We're going to be talking about mission-driven organizations should play big. Yes, doesn't matter what size you are, you could play big if you are driven to do something, to commit to change and help others with impact. We are here with Christine Deane, and we're going to be talking about this topic and a little bit about her. If you're a mission-driven organization, you should be, working together to build, scale, and connect with your community through strategy, network, and marketing. She works exclusively with solopreneurs, small to medium-sized businesses, and nonprofits who have big hearts and want to expand their mission to help more people. She is a master strategist, and she clarifies your vision and develop it into a viable, scalable business with repeatable systems, then connect you to power partners and resources to help you design and execute on those marketing plans. When it comes to your marketing, she can either coach you through the execution or offer you a done-for-you marketing services. She is the ideal person when it comes to this area for advice and guidance from marketing and networking, and prefers in it. But if you prefer autonomy of doing it yourself, she has all the resources and capabilities to do that. Ask about her in terms of her fractional marketing as a marketing director and as a chief marketing officer. Done for you marketing as well. If you are ready to outsource your marketing, she can do that for you. And if you're a veteran, be sure to ask her about the Veteran Chamber of Commerce and the Veterans Ranch background. She's a former college professor and coach of speech and the debate team. And I can't wait to hear what Christine is going to be sharing with you here today. And without further ado, we welcome Christine Deane to the show. Christine, how are you doing today?
Oh, I am doing fantastic. Thanks for the invitation, Christopher.
Well, we are so happy to have you. So let's talk about mission-driven organizations. There are so many different organizations out there, nonprofits, for-profit, somewhere in between. Can we talk a little bit about what is a mission-driven organization?
Absolutely. Mission driven to me, it's not, it's a broad area, but at the same time, they have a definite purpose. They're wanting to do good in the world, right? And it doesn't matter if it's a nonprofit or a for-profit, right? For me, mission driven is anybody that really wants to have an impact, not just in business or not just in nonprofit, but for society in whole. Right. So when you think about it, you think you've got, I know in North Texas, where I'm at, we've got over 400 nonprofits in the area that support veterans. I mean, wow, it's hard to even wrap your mind around that, right? But if you're not working together in order for the greater good, how can you have any impact, right? So we need to kind of band together and help each other with doing good. There's so many different things. Coaches, I love coaches, right? They are on a mission to make your world a better place. Who doesn't love a coach? Right? I mean, these are the kind of things that we want to be involved in. So when people are on a mission, I am a sucker for a cause. I really am. I'm like, if you want to go out there and do what you do and do it on a bigger scale and have an impact, I'm all over that. That's like my sweet space. That's like, it's my happy place. I get all excited about that.
Awesome. Well, I love it. And when we talk about mission-driven organizations, regardless of size, Why do you think, Christine, that, they should be playing big? And big is, it can be looked at from different perspectives. It doesn't mean that it has to be that they have to be big in size, but how can they be big? Maybe in impact, if you could share from your perspective.
Absolutely. A lot of times we get started on something, we don't have the confidence when we start. And we're taking baby steps and not quite sure what to do as we get started. And so, for example, when I started working with a veterans ranch, I was like, okay, ranch, that's great to support veterans, equine therapy. I love that. Okay, one ranch is going to support everybody. And he's like, well, I probably not. Right. But have you thought about doing an affiliate program and having multiple ranches across the nation so the veterans aren't having to fly off to the other side of the nation to get, equine therapy? Oh, right. I mean, things like that they just didn't occur to them. They're like playing small, right? Well, we just want one ranch. I'm like, no. You want affiliates, people that already have ranches and want to be associated with it and want to help serve the cause, right? There's ways to partner up with other locations, other people that are doing similar things that might want to participate in it. Like I said, 400 veteran nonprofits just in North Texas. How are they not working together? Imagine the impact you could have, right? When you start playing big, when you think outside your small location, your small area. And I'll be the first to admit it. My business, DFW Networking Diva, I obviously intended to stay local to DFW, Dallas, Fort Worth area, Texas, right? Pandemic hit, we all went online and all of a sudden, boom, right? I had to go outside my small little circle. And now I'm really good at, talking with people who are in Australia or the UK, right? But we need to think big. There's a bigger world out there. If we pull resources, if we work together and we just think about my mission needs to help more people. So stop playing small and think big.
You made a great point with what you just said, and you ended with it. And you said you have to think big. And would it be safe to say that if we're going to do anything of impact or anything that's going to really bring on change and do something that moves people forward, we have to think in a different way? Because if we're not thinking that way, will our communication, our decisions, our action, our attitude, or how we respond versus react to situations, will that be reflective in a positive way if we're not thinking clearly or thinking big in this case? That, again, we don't have to be everything for everyone, or we don't have to be some monstrosity in terms of, like a United Way or some big, Fortune 500 company, but we could still deliver something big with where we're at. Can you bring some insight to that for the audience?
Right. When you think big and you think I'm going to impact a lot of people, you have to put systems in place, right? You have to think with that mindset of, okay, well, this works fine if it's just me, right? It's kind of like if you're working with a partner, okay, I have to share things with them, right? Now I've got 4 people on my team, 5 people on my team. Okay, do I have processes that are going to be repeatable? Does this make sense? Is this something that you can actually make happen? You have to pull it out of your head. You ask an owner, right? And he's got a business and you say, okay, well, so what are you doing? And he's like, it's all up here. It's all in my head. And you're like, that doesn't do any good for anybody else, right? We need to pull that information out. So when we start putting things in place, are we putting things in place that are helping us think big? Are we putting things in place that are repeatable, scalable? Is it going to be something that's actually going to work as your organization grows? Because we hope if you're doing a lot of good in the world, it's going to grow and more people are going to want to get involved. All right. They buy in and they say, wow, that sounds like a great mission and I want to be in on that. You got to have space for them.
Yeah, I love that. So I love, and how we think, big, that's going to be, like you said, it's going to play out in all the other things that we do with our action to make that happen. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard a lot of times when people are a founder of an organization or the CEO to let go. The mindset of being able to let go and let someone else handle a certain area. They want to touch everything. They want to have their hands on everything. And there's only so many hours in the day. At some point, you have to say, okay, here is my marketing director. My marketing director is now going to handle all of the marketing. I don't have to have my hands in that at all the time, right? This is my operations person, right? You have to be willing to let go of some of that control and have trust and faith that you've brought the right people on board that understand what your goals are, what your mission is, so they can follow up and say, okay, this is Chris's organization. What would Chris do in this situation, right? So if they can think like you, right, then they can make decisions based on the values of your organization. I mean, it just makes sense that you can groom everybody to help make those decisions the same way that you would, or close enough to run with, right?
Absolutely. What would you suggest, Christine, when it comes to, an organization and they're looking to make an impact, whether if it's something in business, maybe something that is driven, something to create some awareness in their community or their industry, or just to do something that impacts people overall personally, not, or it could be also from a business perspective. What do we talked about thinking big first, and that's where it's got to start. What would be some other things you could share that can help them to kind of really position them to do that?
Right. You have to decide what aligns with the values of your organization. Once you know what's important to you, you can kind of look and say, okay, do I want to now align myself with another organization that has those same values? Do we want to adopt a nonprofit kind of concept and run with that? Then you've got companies like Veterans United, where they have the business side doing the mortgage, and then they've got a nonprofit side. So literally one funds the other. So you could actually add on a nonprofit element to your business. Right. And you can provide services that way. You know exactly where it's going. You know exactly what's going on with it. And you know that it's going towards your mission. Right. There's a lot of fun things like that you can do.
Wow. That's awesome. I love it. I love it. What would be like, if you don't mind, if there are any examples you could share? I mean, you wouldn't have to say any particular company if it's confidential, but anything that can probably provide some insights that can maybe help the listeners that are maybe on a path where this is where they're going. There's a mission, but they've just been maybe playing it safe and not thinking big.
I'm going to say a lot of times those in your organization that are there are all about keeping the lights on, right? They're doing the everyday stuff. They've already got jobs to do. A lot of times they don't have time to bring on those other responsibilities. So you've got an idea, right? And I want to do this, but you don't have the resources available. Your people are already busy doing their jobs. Right. And they do it well. Sometimes that's when it's the best time to bring in an outside coach, an outside influence, an outside consultant. Somebody can come in and say, all right, you guys are handling that. You keep doing what you do best. Let me come in and help put these processes in place. So you bring in an expert that can come in and pinpoint things where there's opportunities, where we're so down in the weeds sometimes in our own organizations that we don't see the options. And someone tells you something like, well, why didn't I think of that? It was right there in front of my face, right? Why did I pay you money to come tell me that? Well, because that's what you need us for, right? You need someone else to come in and shed that light on things once in a while. So if you've got a goal, don't try and put that pressure on top of the people that are already there. They got their hands full doing what they're already doing. Sometimes you need to bring someone else in to handle something like that. And then they can pass it off, put the systems in place, and you can put the right people, they can train them, and you can run with what you've got, right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. No, I love all this stuff in insight. And when it comes to a mission-driven organization, again, regardless of size, Christine, does everybody play a role in that? Because sometimes, like, some people might say, well, my role is small compared to, like the CEO, but doesn't everybody have to play a role in some way in that?
It's that teamwork thing. It really does. If everybody's buying into the mission, and even then, everybody can have small roles, but we need them all, right? Even the janitor has an important job to do. I don't know about you, but I don't want to come into work and have garbage all over the place, right? Sure. Everybody has a role, and they're all just as important, right? So you can't think like I'm just small. Everybody, if you're passionate about what you do, you invite people to come hang out. I know with the DFW Veterans Chamber, right? We're always saying, come hang out with us, right? And it doesn't matter whether you're just a member or whether you're a chamber circle leader or you're the president. Everybody's saying, come join us and come join our mission. Right. And that's really a culture thing that you've established in your culture, letting everybody know this is our goal. We want to have a bigger impact. Invite more people to come hang out with us.
Wow. Awesome. Yeah. And like I said, regardless of title, I mean, like you said, every role, no matter how big or how small it is, it all accumulates and adds up if that mission is now creating the action to make that impact. So true. I love it.
It's amazing. I've talked to people where they're like, I didn't realize there were so many other people out there that believed in the same mission that I do. Yeah. You'd be surprised. You just get the word out, and you'd be amazed how many people come out of the woodwork going, I feel that way too. I want to participate. And they jump in. It's amazing. You can't keep it in the closet. You can't be a secret. You got to be willing to put it out there and say, this is what I'm looking for. And you'd be amazed how many people will come in to participate with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, getting back, when you're looking to be a mission-driven organization, there's going to be a lot of things outside of your control. Things are going to change outside of control. The things that have to, you're going to have to adapt to certain things that happen. Can you discuss the importance and why it's important to strategize or have a plan up front to carry out that mission?
You mean chaos isn't what we're all looking for? I mean, and you've seen that, right? You start off, you've seen business owners where they start with something and they're like, I don't even know what I'm doing now. I've had success and I don't have any systems in place. It's a hot mess. And what do I do, right? They've outgrown their own abilities, right? And until you can put people in the right place to make things happen, it could be chaos. You really need to plan, okay, this is where we want to go. How are we going to get there? Right? You need to have somebody that can look at the big picture, how it all ties together. And that is just such a crucial, that clarity and the ability to see the big picture. And that's not a skill set that everybody has. It's just not. And so you need to have somebody to help you with that vision so that you can keep inching forward towards fulfilling that mission.
Yeah, no, so true. And when you're talking about this strategy and this planning, again, sometimes, people think it's just, oh, it's got to be certain people. In some cases, that's the reality. But would it be fair to say that, if all departments or people that, that on some level play a part in that, it's going to definitely get that buy-in and make it more impactful?
Absolutely. Think about it. If people can buy into the solution, they're more likely to participate in the solution, right? So if you're saying, okay, we're doing this, and they're like, I don't understand why are we doing that? I don't see the importance in this, right? They're not going to put any passion towards it. They're not going to put any energy towards it. It's going to be the thing that goes drop down on the list of their to-dos that day, right? That one, if they don't feel like it's important, they're not going to put it at the top of their list. So you really have to get the buy-in from the whole organization, especially if you're going to make a shift that wasn't there before. Right. So before we're just doing our job and all of a sudden, hey, we're going to support this. They're like, whoa, wait a minute. Right. You got to tell them what that means, what that looks like, and how they can participate in it, and how important their role is towards the overall good of this whole mission.
Yeah. So true. I love it. And then, when you think about, mission-driven organizations, this is a long-term thing. It's not something that, hey, we're going to get this done in a couple of weeks, let alone 6 months to a year. This could be something that has a long-term vision. It can be, where the impact will be felt in 5, 10 years, maybe. It depends on the situation. Why is it so important that organizations create a culture and an environment to sustain this mission to carry out long-term?
I think there's a certain level of social consciousness now that we have an expectation of our businesses and our organizations to stand for something more than just making a profit. As a society here, we have an expectation. And if you're not looking into that, who's defining who you are? Do you want to define that, or you want someone else to define that? So if you know what your values are and you want to make that clear, right, you got to pick your mission. What's important to you and what you want to get involved in. That's what they're looking for out there. And you have there's an expectation for it. So you got to decide, do you want to be known as just the hungry, money grubbing capitalist? Is that what you want to be known for? Or do you want to be known for something better than that? Right. So you got to think about the values of your organization and what do you want to be known for? You have an opportunity to make an impact here, and people are expecting it.
Yeah, no, so true. I love it. It makes total sense. And so important. What would be some other things that you could share with us and the audience and those listening later that should be, that we haven't discussed yet, that would be important in terms of organizations that are, looking to adopt and carry their mission to the next level?
You really have to start with your values, your mission, and you really want to bring somebody in to help you clarify that, because there's a lot of different ways to look at that. You might start with the CEO, but then you need to bring in that top leadership, because everybody needs to buy in on that together, right? If you don't have that buy-in, it's just not going anywhere. So you really need to get focused, right? What's important to you and how far are you willing to go? What kind of energy are you willing to put in this? What kind of finances? What kind of time? How are you going to create that supportive environment in your culture to support that mission? So if you're saying that we think it's important to whatever it is that you want to do, I've got a nonprofit that does leadership, is developing leadership skills in children through sports programs. Okay. So are you going to give your people time off to volunteer with that program? Are you going to let them, do they get an hour a month paid where they do some kind of volunteer work on whatever that mission is, right? Do they have some kind of write-off that they can do with their paychecks that they want to donate a certain amount to that specific nonprofit? Do you have that set up in there, right? What kind of systems can you put in place to show as a culture in your environment that you actually mean it and you're not just saying it? And that's huge, right? A lot of times people will say, oh, yeah, I believe in that. And you're like, money talks, actions walk. I want to see that you actually mean what you say. And we're looking for that, right? So you want to make sure that if you claim it, make it a reality.
Yeah. Well, that what you said a few times here on the show already, that comes back down to the values. Does the behavior, the attitude, the action, how they respond versus react in the communication support the values, and that they're not like, hey, these are our values, and then nothing supports it.
Big time. And you see that, right? It's kind of like, oh, I value a clean house. And then you look around the person's house, you're like, really? Your house is trash. Are you kidding? Do some dishes, right? So, are we doing what we say we're going to do? And that really builds confidence, right? And that says a lot about your organization. And when we think about big organizations and what they stand for, right, we know that inherently, right? Because they make a big deal about it. Other ones are a little bit more quiet about it. But why not be loud and proud on what you're doing? Right? So if this is your mission, say it, put it on your social media, right? This is what we want to do. We want to partner with, see who comes out and that wants to work with you. There's opportunities there where you can partner up with someone to do whether it's just the freeway cleanup, right? Or whatever it is that's important to your organization, pick something, right? And give ourselves something to aspire to make the world a better place.
No, it's so true. And can you just share briefly the importance of commitment? We're not always going to feel like, committed, because, things can happen. We can get tired. We can get things may not go our way. We face obstacles, but it's all part of the process. But why is it important to be committed at all levels?
Well, and commitment is, that means that you're going to continue to do something, even though the feeling you had when you said yes is gone. And that will happen, right? We could say we're committed to something. It's like working out at the gym. I'm committed to this. And then like 3 days later, you're like, it's kind of early in the morning. Maybe tomorrow, right? And so commitment is huge, right? Nothing gets done if you don't follow through with it. Mm-hmm. And we can get lazy sometimes, right? So you really have to put those systems in place that are supporting it. You can't just say it. You got to do it.
Exactly. Actions speak louder than words, as they say. So true. No, so many great things that you've shared here, because we here at Business Influencers, we always have different size organizations, and, sometimes there's already a mission that's why the company formed, and that was their goal to do that. And some people, that their mission develops along the way, whether if it's directly related to their business or a certain cause that's important to them. But regardless, a lot of the things you shared always are going to play an important role in making that happen.
Absolutely. And, I'd like to point out, Chris, that a lot of times we have to ask ourselves when we're going to expand our business and we're going to expand a business line, a product line, does it fit our mission? If the answer is no, let it go. We get distracted by shiny objects and things that sound good. And then we end up going off in a million different directions. And when we come back, we realize we're no longer supporting our mission.
Yeah.
Keep the mission at the heart of everything.
Exactly. It's got to be something that's in the forefront and, communicated on a daily basis, not something that you say a couple times and then people lose track and you lose momentum, because that will happen. Motivation is fleeting, but discipline is consistent. So love that. I know we have just about a few minutes left in the show, and I wanted to make sure that, first of all, I wanted to thank you for taking the time to be here today with us, sharing, this valuable insight into mission-driven organizations should play big. How can people get to know you, get, where to find you, anything that you would like to offer the audience?
Oh, goodness. I love free consultations. If I have an excuse to talk to somebody that's on a mission to do good, even if they're just starting out, that's usually one of my favorite places to start. Reach out. I will give you a free consultation because I want to see you get involved and do bigger things in the world. I want to see you go out there and make an impact. So reach out to me. You can email me at diva@dfwnetworkingdiva.com, and I'll give you my calendar link. You can book on there, and I will be more than happy to sit there, and we'll probably go over time, but that's what happens. I just want you to get out there and make an impact. This world can be a wonderful place if we're all working together towards the same goals.
I love it. So true. Well, Christine, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us here today. Again, reach out to Christine. She is a wonderful person. I've gotten to know her personally. Again, doing so many great things to help take your mission-driven organization to the next level. Also, everything to do with networking, marketing, done for you as well. And again, any veterans out there, reach out to her. She's involved in several different projects in that particular area and offers a wealth of value. Christine, thank you so much again.
Thank you.
And listeners, we want to thank you each and every week joining us here at Business Influencers. Again, we want to thank you for tuning in each and every week. And again, our commitment to you is to bring subject matter experts like Christine in each and every week to share their words of wisdom and knowledge and experience, helping to take your business and your level of influence to the next level. Till then, everybody, have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next week. Take care.